Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible, one brave word at a time. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the most amazing authors of a new book that we have coming out. This one is called On Purpose Woman, the complete holistic guide for spiritual entrepreneurs. And before I introduce these authors to you today, I want to say a huge thank you to our lead author of this project and the founder of the On Purpose Woman community, Ginny Robertson. Ginny, thank you so much for being a part of my world and all of our worlds. And thank you for this vision that you had to connect us and get us together, and the vision for this book. I'm so grateful to know you and to be guiding this project and to be publishing your brave words. And you brought together such a stellar group of women for this project. And we've been able to meet for some of our meetings here in Maryland. There are women all over the country and the world in this group. And again, I can't say thanks enough to you and what you've meant to me in my life as I've built my own business. So let me introduce you all to some of our brilliant co-authors, contributing expert women, because this conversation is going to be juicy today, y'all. Letitia Boyd Potts is the founder and owner of Group Lady Life Skills Consulting, where they motivate and empower communities to take charge of mental health and emotional wellness. Olivia A. Jones is an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics, where she enjoys helping others shop and share beauty. Who doesn't love to do that? I don't know a woman who doesn't love to do that. And Dr. Shri Meleth is a transformational life coach who uses meditation, EFT, and guided visualizations to help her clients learn to love, accept, and forgive parts of themselves they have rejected and learned to hate. Oh my goodness. Welcome to all of you. Olivia, you're going to start the party off today. Tell us about the amazing chapter that you wrote.
So the title of my chapter is Dreaming the Impossible Dream, How Prayer Can Transform Your Life in Difficult Times. And Laura, I tell you, I decided to write this chapter because as a independent beauty consultant, as a contractor with Mary Kay Cosmetics, I wanted to share with others how prayer has been able to impact me and help me become more of the woman I'm a better version of who I could be. The company has a philosophy of faith first, family second, and God and career third. Sorry. And I decided that I was going to give prayer a try. Well, I'm a faith-filled woman. So not that I was going to give prayer a try. I was utilizing prayer to help me, to guide me in my business. And, I began to realize that the more I prayed, the more peaceful I became, Laura, the more I was able to focus on being the best version of myself so that I could serve others better. As a entrepreneur, there are all sorts of challenges that are faced. One of the primary ones is keeping a positive mental attitude. And I found that when I had my positive mental attitude was a determining factor as to the results that I would get from prayer. So the more that I developed a positive mental attitude, and the more that I prayed, and the more that I took action on those prayers, the better version of myself came about, and I was better able to serve my ideal clients, to serve even other consultants and business partners. And again, just becoming that best Olivia was my ultimate goal. And I wanted to be able to share that with others.
So, positive attitude is no small thing to curate when you've grown up and or been taught to imagine the worst first. And so I wonder, what has your journey been like? Like, was that, oops, we lost her. What happened? Oh, there she comes again. Good. Olivia, we thought we lost you. So did you hear that follow-up question? How challenging was that in your world to kind of switch to the positive attitude? And remember to unmute, Olivia.
It was very challenging because, again, just like you shared, we're so conditioned to be negative. However, when you learn how to discipline your mind, it gives you the ability to know that this is something that you desire. And when you can focus on what you think about, you bring about. So as you begin to focus more on the positive, and you're given, we have free will. So as we continuously strive to focus on the things that we do want, as opposed to the things that we don't want, it gives us the ability to manifest and bring and attract into our lives more of the things that we want. And we can utilize prayer to do that. And again, it helps to make us to be the best versions of ourselves. It helps make us be better mothers, wives, sisters, friends, because we're striving to elevate ourselves to another level of living, to be better than that better person to yesterday, tomorrow than we are today. And so it is something that takes discipline. It's a choice, but when we make that choice, we ultimately are able to manifest and create the lifestyle and that we want. And again, able to serve others.
Game changer. Yes, Olivia, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Shri, you're next. Tell us about your chapter.
Hey, Laura. Important to unmute myself. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for the work that you have done. It's been an amazing experience. This is not the first collaborative book that I've been on, but this has been the best experience so far.
Well, thank you.
I'm Dr. Sri Meleth. I'm a transformational life coach. My chapter is called Being the Authentic You, How to Attract Clients to Your Business. And one of the things that I teach clients to do is to fully and completely accept themselves, right? That's what Laura read out in my bio. And what I realized over the past couple of years, due to life happening, is that when you're under stress and when you are being pressured, there is a tendency sometimes for us to give in to that pressure and not be true to who you are. And I learned the hard way that if you come across in your business as someone who is not authentic, that energy is transferred to the clients, and they are not going to buy into what you want to do. So you have to learn to be completely comfortable with who you are, and it's only then that you can convince a client about the work and the value of what you are providing to them. So if you are if you're standing in front of a crowd and you are questioning what you're selling, and you are not fully convinced of of the value of the service that you're providing, it's no wonder that the clients or your potential clients don't buy into your sales pitch, right? Because then it becomes just a sales pitch instead of providing a service that will help lift other people up. So given the experience that I had a couple of in between 21 and 22, I realized that the biggest thing that I had learned was how to be sure that I knew that I was comfortable in the service that I was providing, that it was truly a reflection of who I was, and that then helped my clients to see that I was being genuine, that I really cared about what happened to them. And this was not just, to use a cliche, this is not a used car salesman trying to sell a lemon to them, and so I thought that was really, really important, and to get to that place of center.
Very important. One thing that you said struck me, and this is awareness. So you all are going to be dropping golden nuggets of awareness for our listeners today. And if you, listener, even get one, you run with it, right? And so what you just said about if you're in stress and anxiety, it can actually create inauthenticity. So you got to check yourself when times are stressful and ask again, oh, is this the real me? Really? Is this the me that I want to put out there? Right? What else do you want to say about that, Sri?
Yeah, because so there is this term that for those of you who are familiar with the vagal theory, Dr. Stephen Porges developed the vagal hypothesis and the theory, and he also talked about this term called neuroception, right? We talk about perception, but he talked about neuroception. And what neuroception says is that our nervous system is constantly scanning the atmosphere to see if it's safe or not. If we don't feel safe, if we are inauthentic, one of the things that happens when we are stressed out is we are not feeling safe. If we are not feeling safe and grounded, then the people that we are talking to, their nervous systems automatically pick that up, and they are not feeling safe and grounded. So that is the completely wrong position to be in order to convince somebody that you have something of value to give, because they can sense from your energy that you are not even convinced yourself whether you're doing that. And so it is, and there are so many tools out there, right? I use meditation, I use EFT, I use visualization. All of those come together beautifully to bring you to a space where you can be fully grounded. You can really get the answer to, is this really the me that I want to project? How am I feeling right now? And it's fine to even say to the audience, to be completely authentic about, I'm a little bit nervous right now. That is much better than putting on a facade of being completely confident and knowing exactly what you're doing. So that's what I've tried to convey in the chapter.
Really, really powerful tools. I can't wait for you all to read these chapters for the stories, the beautiful, authentic stories that you all share, but then the practical tools that you're laying out. Your master teachings are extremely powerful and effective, and it's one of the things I love the most about these communities and these books. So, Sri, thank you so much for being here today. Latisha, tell us about your amazing chapter. Hey.
Oh, hi, guys. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm so excited to be here and be a part of this project. And everything that you ladies are saying, we are all connected and combined with what we are giving to the world. What Shri said, what Olivia just mentioned. I am Letitia Boyd Potts, and I wrote chapter 6. It is Escape the Fear, Do It Afraid, Developing Discernment, Find Your Purpose, and Change Stress into Joy, right? So that chapter came about from just what Shri mentioned. We live in fear, right? My entire life, I'm a city girl, first of all. So I'm a city girl and I was raised in the city, and around me, the city life, I was afraid. I was afraid of so many things. I became a single mom. I was afraid of that. Then I had to raise these children, these 2 boys. I was afraid of that. The system and the environment around me produced a lot of fear, nervousness, anxiety. But as I transitioned and learned to develop my spirit and learned to develop my faith, like Olivia said, with prayer, connecting to myself, I had to do it afraid anyway, right? So when you're a single mom, who's going to raise your kids? You, right? So you got to do it afraid. You have to go out there and take a chance. So my background, I'm a social worker. I'm an MSW social worker. I'm certified in mental health aid. And for 20 years on the front line of working with adults and youth with mental health, I was taking in energies, right? I was going into people's home and I was taking in all of this energy, but I wasn't releasing it all the time, right? So that is when my discernment came in. Because as a person who, I tried to eat right and exercise and eat healthy, right? I had came across a medical condition that I wrote about in the book. And I said, well, wow, to my universe, to the spirit, I was like, wow, God, how did this happen to me? When I tried so much to eat right and exercise, it was all emotional. It was all the energy that I was taking in from others as a social worker, but not letting it out. So, what did it do? It created more fear. So I had to escape that. I had to escape those fear of taking in others people energy, the fear of not having confidence in myself. That was key. I had to change confidence and build my self-esteem. And it hit me. If I have all of these years of experience helping other people, motivating, encouraging other people, I have to do it for myself. I have to put that energy out there. I have to develop my discernment. I have to develop my spirit because once I did that, this new woman emerged and grew, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm going to do that. I can do that. I started creating these vision boards, and GLC came about. So Group Lady Life Skill Consultant is a spiritual holistic way of educating, bringing awareness, bringing information to the community, psychoeducation on how we build our self-esteem, how we connect with the person inside us to grow, to reach out to others, understanding our purpose. And the main focus is the fear, right? Because we're human. We're gonna, have fear. I had nervousness just to do this interview, right? But those are those human nerves. But when those nerves debilitate us and stop us from becoming that real woman who we know we are inside, then that is when discernment grows. It's like that voice inside of you. I talk about the woman spirit in the book that guided me and said to me, do this, do that at this specific time, right? If I had not listened to that discernment, I don't know where I would be. So I am so grateful of, this whole book experience, and I want to share that. The tools I use are affirmations. I really believe in speaking to yourself. I really believe in motivating yourself with words. And it's like you see a bubble that's small and the bubble gets bigger and bigger, like a little child with a piece of bubble gum and they blow in a bubble and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what affirmations do to me. They make me bigger and bigger and bigger. And when I get that, I want to give it away. I want to share it with people. And that is how, the chapter came about.
I love it. Awareness, discernment. I hope you guys heard the word discernment because it's one of my favorites in terms of the awareness game. Letitia, thank you so much for being a part of this. For all three of you, a huge thank you, not just for saying yes to this, but for also taking my challenge to put a vulnerable, real story in this book and let people get to know and love you at another level. You all did that so beautifully. And then just to repeat myself from before, these authors are then stepping up and gifting you some practical master teachings. So this book is a toolkit for our spiritual entrepreneurs. And we are hitting the topics in so many different ways of what that means. So I thought the next question would be so great. And I think Ginny will also smile at this question. But Shri, I'm going to start with you. What does it even mean to you to be an on-purpose woman?
I love that name. And I love the idea of a community of on-purpose women. To be an on-purpose woman is first of all to recognize that you have a purpose, right? That you have a purpose beyond the place where you are just doing things out of obligation. You're married, you have to do certain you're to be in a certain way in a marriage, you're a parent, you to take care of the kids. What On Purpose Woman does for me is to give me permission to say that there is something about you that is greater than what what society typically expects of women, and that it is, and here is a place where you can step up into that greatness. It is, I think, just the idea of that community is to recognize that there are women have purpose, and to encourage them to live up to that purpose. So it's sort of bringing you up so that the world sees you, and so that the world benefits from your experience and your willingness to be vulnerable and brave enough to say, yeah, I do believe that I have a purpose and I am going to step up to it. And I am amazed. I am so grateful that Ginny thought of putting this group together. Of course, she's done it for years. I've been part of the community for about a year and a bit. And I love the idea of, like I said, I just love that title.
Oh, that's a brilliant, brilliant way to start off that question. Thank you for that. Letitia, what would you add? What does it mean to you to be an on-purpose woman in your life?
To be an on-purpose woman in my life, it says to me that my existence has meaning, right? That my life has guidance for not just myself, but for others, for a community of people, different race and different cultures, and everything that God has given me, the information, education, the compassion, the need that I have to want to see people be a better version of themselves. That means that there was a purpose for me. He chose me for that, right? All of us has different gifts, but my gift is unique. Your gift and your gift is unique. So being an on-purpose woman means I get to share my unique gifts with the world.
I love it. I love listening to y'all answer these questions. They're full of the feels for me. And it's what makes these books magical. Olivia, what about you? What does it mean to you to be an on-purpose woman?
The first thing, Laura, that came to my mind was a quote. I forget who it's by. Is like the two most important days of your life is the day you were born and the day you discover why. And so I think that being on purpose is really realizing my why. And I want to also just say thank you too. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here, to be able to share. And it's amazing to me that we're all like in our definite purpose in this very moment, because the things that we're sharing are so interconnected and so amazing that Letitia's share and Charlitha's share, we all are coming together in like this one group bubble. We're like discovering one another and helping one another all at once. Completely amazing. And that's like our definite purpose, our why. And I think that purpose also has to do with a calling. Like we are called to this particular time and moment and place in the whole scheme of life. It's like, oh my gosh, how can I help myself? How can I help my neighbor? And just like the teacher was sharing, with all the various gifts that we have, being able to take those gifts and not keep it and hoard them and keep them to ourselves, but to be able to share those things. And so in discovering our why and living on purpose. And then I also like what Jenny talks about too, is like being purposeful and mindful of what we do and how we do it, and doing so with a definite purpose. And when we do something with that definite purpose, we're no longer drifting around just wondering, okay, what is life really about? You now have a focus, a driven a drive and a direction in which to move toward. And then the exciting thing is you get to take other people with you. You know, you're not keeping it to yourself. You're sharing it with everybody else. And I think that's totally amazing. You're now imparting self-confidence, self-esteem, love, light into others. And oh my gosh, what better way to live than to be able to help your fellow man and woman. So
My definition of a badass right there. I love that. I want to take a minute to also answer this. For me, purpose showed up in a bonfire fashion when I learned that I had to come back and ask myself what brought me joy before all the things I was taught I was supposed to love and do to make myself happy. And so when I woke up with awareness, I had a choice, and I could really start to ask myself some pretty important questions, life questions. You know, what does that even mean to me? And so when I found that feeling of joy, the purpose was just swimming right there in it. And all I had to really do is just repeat, go for it, move toward the feeling. And that's the calling, I think. You know, that's part of the definition of that. So I think an important part of being a spiritual entrepreneur is that awareness practice. And this has come up in all of your answers today for all of these things. And I know each of you have a very unique practice. When I'm connected to the moment and to that intuition and higher source, anything is possible, right? So everyone's practice is a little different, and there are so many ways to connect. So Letitia, what's one of the ways you practice connecting to that source? What do you want to share with people about your way that you do it?
I connect with prayer, but also with the outside energy, right? So I like to be in nature. So nature helps me connect. I don't know what it is. I love trees. I'm such a tree lover. So that source and the energy from being in a yard, like I go in the backyard and I just stand in the middle of the backyard, close my eyes and breathe in the good air and let out any other energies that I feel that don't belong in me. And then I just begin to talk to God, because prayer to me is talking. So I release, I take in, and I release it out. And that is my practice.
Oh, the nature connection, you guys. It's such a big one for me as well. I think probably everyone's going to nod to trees and the flowers and the all the beautiful nature. Olivia, how about you? What's that way? You know, you've talked about prayer throughout your whole chapter and that being one of your tools. Are there other ways that you connect?
I like to meditate, and even listening to music, and actually exercise has been something that I have just gotten into that has really kind of given me an opportunity to boost my endorphins and given me more energy and more focus. And as a result, it just allows me, it even gives me better connection. I have my attitude is just more, it's more positive because I have now taken the time out to take care of my temple. And again, as I pour into myself, then I'm able to pour into others. And that good music is something about some good music, Laura, that really, you know, like, hey, you know, it gets you going. I'm like, hey, and
I love
it
it.
helps me. Helps me.
Yeah, and Olivia just threw three at you: meditation, music, and exercise. Check, check, check. All of them are nature. Yes, all of the things that Olivia said as well. Yeah, and this is why I wanted you all to answer this question in your unique way. It's one of the reasons for our collaborations is I want all of the voices included and all of the ways, and because there's going to be a listener today, there's going to be a reader who needs to hear your message in exactly the way you are expressing it today. And so this is just another thank you to all of you for doing that so brilliantly. And, you know, Shri was talking about being yourself, unapologetically be her, because that's the message that someone will resonate with. I think it's so important. And all of these tools, one other thing that y'all have me thinking about is that, you know, one day I might need to turn the music on. Another day I might need to meditate. Another day I gotta bust it out and sweat through my clothes and just get that burned off, right? And so let yourself change your mind, everyone, and connect in the moment to what the need is. And it may be different next hour, maybe different tomorrow, right? Shri, I want to give you a chance to answer this too. What's the way that you like to connect to that source?
Honestly, without seeming to be too woo-woo, I constantly feel connected is one thing. I wanted to talk a little bit. I think Olivia said something in the beginning about stepping into faith, that you always had faith and you stepped into it. And I just wanted to share a little story that I have. I lost my mother in a plane crash when I was 19. And I was at that time not at all sure as to whether I believed in God or not. My mom was an agnostic, my father was very devout. And, you know, I was going, especially under that kind of trauma, she was the closest person I had in the world. And I just got so tired of asking the question, is there a God? Is there not a God? And I remember the pavement in Bombay where I stood and said, screw this, I'm just going to live as if I believe. And I honestly think that was a permission she was waiting for. And from then on, I've just been carried through, not that life has been, you know, smooth all the way through, but I feel that the being held and being led to. And one of the places that she, you know, because we've got gods and goddesses, has led me to recently was this encounter with a guru called Sadhguru, who has specific practices of yoga and meditation that I have been very involved with for the past couple of months. And to also go back to something Letitia said, one of his practices is standing in front of a tree and you know, becoming aware of the fact that you are breathing out and the tree is breathing in, and that, you know, just having that interaction and recognizing that we are all one, that we are all connected. So definitely meditation, talking, journaling is an extremely important thing for me. I'm also doing the artist's way again. I'm trying to complete that 12-week course. I've started and stopped multiple times. But I think just being able, I find that when I write, I'm able to have the most authentic conversation with myself and be truest to myself, and truths that I didn't even know were residing somewhere in my being come onto the paper. And it's just been wonderful to be reconnected to that space. I know I'm going on a little bit here, but there was a time just recently that I was not able to journal, that there was something that was keeping me from. Clearly there was something that I was afraid of finding out. And now that I've gotten back into the morning pages routine, and it's just given me so much appreciation for how just writing with no agenda connects you to yourself. And I think that's an extremely important way to 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 create that connection, because when you're really connected to yourself inside, since you are a reflection of source, that is almost one of the most authentic ways of connecting with all that is.
Well, it may not surprise you all to that I should say Shri stole mine. Journaling is everything that she said for me as well. I'll summarize her answer with journaling. It is an instant connection to source for me. It is how I instantly know, and I'm also feeling very much in the moment, connected all the time. It's just a matter of me choosing to sit down and put that pen to paper. So you've given me an opportunity to also tell everyone that these projects, to me, I hold the process sacred when our authors come together to write their stories. And there's always the foundation of healing first, because it's quite a thing for these authors to say, yes, I'll write my story. Then they get into it and then they realize what that really means. And then we get to the publishing part and they're like, uh-oh, more than just my mom and my BFF are going to read this, right? And then there's a whole level of that. And then you get to the other side of it where we've published and people are reading, and then feedback comes in, and then it's another level, right? And then you all come to these podcasts and you step on stages and you grab microphones and you take the next step with courage to share your authentic selves. And I just wanted to say one last time, thank you for being brave like that. For allowing this process to not just be submitting a chapter for a book, because that is not what I want to do. I want to heal as we go, and I want to build community as we go. So thanks to all three of you for being part of this community. To our listeners today, I know you heard something that resonated. Maybe it gave you the goosebumps. Maybe it made you curious. Maybe you need some support. So what we have is much more than a book community. Scroll down into our show notes, because I have hooked up all of our authors with their links. And this is a very generous community. They're all waiting for you to connect. All you have to do is reach out to learn more. Go explore their websites. Go explore all of the amazing things that they have going on, because it's a lot. And they're there to answer questions. Letitia Boyd Potts, right? You're going to find her on her website below. Olivia Jones, thank you for being here. Olivia's website is below for you. Dr. Shri Mileth, thank you so much for being here. Your website is down below as well. You guys, you can come join us for our book launch party. We're going to have all of the authors of On Purpose Woman together celebrating. Oh my goodness, what date is that? Friday, August 11th at 11. The 11th at 11. Who loves that numerology? That's Eastern. You're going to find information down below about the party. You can come join us on Zoom. And if you happen to be listening to this interview anytime after August 11th, then that means On Purpose Woman, the book, is live on Amazon, and you should just hop right on over and grab your copy today, okay? Lastly, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Thank you, ladies.